Hey guys, how's it going? So, as you guys probably already know, I've really been enjoying my Taurus G2C as well as my G3. And I did a video about a week ago comparing and contrasting the two, kind of just giving you some pluses and minuses to both. Not really minuses because they're great guns, but just which one would be a little bit better for this or that. So, you guys can go check my Taurus playlist for that video. But, I got a comment earlier today, and it was a good comment, and that's why I'm so lucky to have such a great audience. You know, my viewers, you guys are really cool, really smart, and that's why I always read your comments and try to reply to everyone. And the viewer basically said, hey, look, man, have you noticed that your G3, that the grip feels a little bigger in your hand than the G2C? And he went on to say, you know, my hands are a little bit on the smaller side, so I'm finding that it's much more comfortable for me to grip my G2C than the G3. And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, you know what, man? I haven't really measured them. Let me get back to you on that. So I got out my calipers right here, and I did some measuring. And I kind of sat there and gripped the guns again before I measured, and I thought, well, they feel very similar, but come to think of it, the G3 does kind of feel a little bigger in my hand. Now look, both of these guns are very comfortable for me. I have probably closer to medium-sized hands, if you will. They're not extremely small, but they're not large by any means. But both of these pistols right off the gate are very comfortable, both in their grip and in me reaching, you know, and pulling the trigger. So I got out the calipers, and, you know, calipers don't lie. So here's what I found. When you're measuring the area here, from the front to back of the grip, I found that the G3 is actually about 1/10 of an inch wider from here to here, and I was trying to measure in the same spot, guys, taking into account the grip textures. I measured a few times. Look, none of my videos are scientific, and neither is this, but I found a real world 1/10 of an inch difference from front to back. And here's where I noticed the big difference. The difference that somebody is definitely going to notice if their hands are on the smaller side. And that would be from the area of the back strap here, the back part of the grip frame, where you would cradle the webbing of your hand in, and the front of the trigger blade. And I noticed there is actually a full 1/4 of an inch further reach from the back strap of this G3 to the front of the blade, where you would have to actuate to pull the trigger, than there is on the G2C. So if we add up both of these measurements, we're kind of sort of looking at, you know, between 1/4 and even 1/3 of an inch difference from front to back. And this is something that could kind of, you know, make it where one pistol is more comfortable than the other. Especially, just look at it like this. There's always that straw that broke the camel's back, right? So if your hands are already on the small side and you're finding yourself just right, you know, with the trigger on the G2C, the trigger pull width, length rather, if you will, right? Meaning from back of the frame to the front of the trigger. And it was just perfect. Extending that 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch forward could put you in the realm where it's still definitely shootable, but you feel like you have to reach, you know, just a little bit further than you would like to. So I actually totally get it. And I know everybody has hands of different shapes and sizes, so I thought I should go over this little detail. Look, I'm not trying to overanalyze this, but I do think it was a good question. And a question that I wanted to answer because a lot of you guys are looking at my reviews and using them to decide which one you want to purchase or if you want to purchase both. So here's what I would say. In my hands, having medium hands, they're both very, very comfortable. Now that I really think about it, since my mind's on this topic, this does feel just a little bit fatter because it is a little bit wider from front to back. So I can feel it here on my 3 lower fingers, and I can also feel that, yeah, my finger reaches a little bit, you know, forward to pull the trigger. So, now look, you can see my finger is well protruding from the front of the trigger guard, so it's nothing for me to come in and pull this trigger. But everybody's bodies are shaped a little bit differently, so if you find that the G2C feels a little smaller in your hands, it's because it actually literally is. And if you're a smaller person, you know, and you find that this is the perfect fit for you, and it might be a little bit of an extension to reach forward another 1/3 of an inch, that may be a reason that you like the G2C more. Now, this obviously works in the opposite. If you have big old hands, you know, you can palm a basketball, or even a little smaller than that. You guys know what I'm saying. If you have large hands, medium large to large hands, you may actually find this G3 to all of a sudden be way more comfortable. By no means would I say this has a fat grip. The grip is still very slender and comfortable, but it just feels a little chunkier in your hand, just a little bit, and you can definitely notice that you're reaching forward a little bit. Great question in the comments. I love you guys' questions. I love your dialogue, and I like the fact that I get to hang out with all you guys. So hopefully this little video was useful or informative or otherwise. So yeah, I'll be talking more about these guns soon. More shooting videos, more reviews, and more little tidbits like this on these Taurus pistols coming very soon. Alright, thanks for watching, and have a good one.